in the amount of $636,210.
One more time, if you would, Justin, sorry.
That was $636,210. The next bid is from HIS Constructors in the amount of $606,372.32. That is $606,372.32. Next is from Ponham Contractors. Their bid is in the amount of $595,000. Next, we'll be opening bids for our multi-bridge rehabilitation project. This project involves placing a waterproof membrane and a new wearing surface over 18 of our county bridges. The first bid submitted is from All Star Paving. It is in the amount of $789,199.25. That's $789,199.25. The next bid is from Baumgardner Asphalt in the amount of $695,091.65. Okay. Any repeats on that? Okay. So like I said, we will take these, we will review them during the meeting, and then at the end of the meeting, we'll come back up here with a recommendation for award. So thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Justin, you want to speak at all on this Bridge 68 on our AMC electric fiber optic relocation contract? Okay.
Thank you for bearing with me during all that. I don't know if this is on. The next agenda item I have is it's a reimbursable agreement for utility relocations for the Bridge 68 project on Ballinger Road. During our utility coordination process, SCI REMC has both electric and fiber facilities out there that are within easement. They need to relocate due to our project. So therefore, their reimbursable costs total $32,527.34. We have worked with both subsectors of SCI to get a new relocation in plan. So once we have this agreement signed, they are ready to move with their relocations to get out of our way so we can start the bridge project.
Any questions for Justin? It's been going on quite a while, I know, but I appreciate you guys getting this done, that's for sure.
Yep.
Now I'd entertain a motion on this reimbursement agreement with REMC in Morgan County.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second to award this to RMC on the reimbursement agreement. And any further questions from the board or from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
You're up one more time, Justin.
Couple more times.
Yeah, it looks like well, 3 more.
That's right, yep. It's a busy one today.
It is.
Next up is our just overall general plan approval for Bridge 68. So Kenny, as you alluded to, this project's been in the works for quite some time. We are now at the point where we're ready to take this project to bid. We are anticipating a March 3rd bid date on that, meaning I need to get the advertisement to the paper here in a couple weeks. What I have before you is the title sheet for these set of plans. The surveyor's office was kind enough to plot me out a full-size sheet for signatures. I'll get that back to VS Engineering, who is our consultant on this project. With your blessing, we'll move forward to bid with this project and get going on construction.
It's in my neck of the woods, and it's awesome. I appreciate that, and it's gonna really make it a lot nicer down there in the bottom, that's for sure. Any questions for Justin on this, guys? Not hearing none, I'd entertain a motion on the approval of the Bridge 68 plans, approval to go to bid on this on the 3rd.
Also move.
Got a motion by Mr. Adams to go ahead and approve this to go to bid. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board? Or from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. It's all yours on the bridge inspection presentation.
Thank
Sure.
you. So as you guys are already aware, we are, is a federal requirement for all of our bridges in the county to get inspected every 2 years. For the last 4-year cycle, United Consulting has been our consultants running that program for us. They have just recently wrapped up their phase 2 inspections, meaning the second 2-year inspections that are required in this phase. So with that, Kyle Kent is here to give a short presentation on a summary of those findings. I believe you guys have a 2-page flyer in your packets that just kind of hits some of the highlights of what they found during our inspection and where we stand as a county.
Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think so too.
Thanks, Justin. All right. So good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'm Kyle Kent with United Consulting, and it's my pleasure to see you all again and present another bridge inventory report. So I'd like to thank Brian Collier for holding the door open for me this morning while I carried in some of these big binders. That was most appreciated. Not a problem. So United is under contract to provide inspection services for the Morgan County Bridge Inventory. This contract covers a 4-year period, which started in August of 2022. As Justin said, bridge inspections are required every 2 years for all county highway bridges with a span length of greater than 20 feet. These inspections keep the county in compliance with federal bridge inspection standards established by the Federal Highway Administration. As they too understand the need for safe and well-inspected bridge infrastructure, the Federal Highway Administration has reimbursed the county 80% of the cost of inspections for this contract. This morning, I'm presenting the 2024 Bridge Inspection Report based on our findings of the second phase of inspections that we completed in August of 2024. So this inventory report contains findings from those inspections. We've got detailed information for each of the 157 bridges in your inventory, along with some summarized tables that help make sense of some of this data. To help you navigate through this report, we've got that flyer that you have from Justin and myself that helps summarize some of this information. Some of those summaries include a listing of the maintenance items for each bridge, a listing of the postings with load restrictions for the bridges, and perhaps most interestingly, a priority schedule for which bridges could be rehabbed, replaced, or repaired in the future. As you can see from the front page of that handout, we've noted which of the bridges the county has currently programmed for replacement and rehabilitation. And we've also noted which of these bridges the county has already applied for funding on. The county's done a really great job pursuing federal dollars to help fund these bridge projects. These federal aid contracts are really great for tackling the large, high-cost structures, but they're slightly less optimal for smaller crossings or bridges with lower traffic volumes. The smaller bridges typically just don't score as well as the larger bridges. I bring this up because a majority of the bridges that are next in line to be replaced or rehabilitated, kind of the top of the list, those are smaller bridges. They have lower traffic volumes on them. So a good solution for replacing these bridges could be to pursue a community crossings matching grant, which provides up to $1 million of funding at a 50-50 match. Depending on the bridges you select for rehabilitation or replacement, you could potentially bundle 2 bridges together into one construction contract, and you might get more competitive bids that way. So if I could turn your attention to the back page of that flyer, we include some statistics based on that show how Morgan County compares to the average county in the state. We have things like the percentage of bridges that are posted with a load restriction, the percentage of bridges that need to be inspected more frequently than every 2 years, and the average bridge age in the county. So one thing you might notice is that Morgan County performs better than the average in every single one of these metrics. So that's something to take pride in, that any way you slice it, Morgan County's doing better than the most. So I'd like to talk about the bridge age for a second. In general, we think of the lifespan of a bridge being around 75 years. So with a county like Morgan, when you've got around 150 bridges, the math kind of shakes out to 2 replacements per year to kind of maintain your infrastructure. So that's a good number that we kind of keep in mind about how many replacements per year based on the quantity of your bridge inventory. In the front pocket of this binder, you'll find a county bridge inventory map with a key to assist you in locating any bridge you're interested in. And we've also got some flash drives that we're going to give to Justin. And they have a digital interactive copy of this report and the map. And they also have digital materials of all the inspection stuff that we came up with during our phases. So in order to ensure that you get the most life out of your bridges, the county should continue to anticipate additional maintenance and repairs in the future, things like bridge deck patching, bridge deck overlays, and installing riprap on the banks of some channels to prevent erosion under the substructure. These are some of the activities that can bring the bridges up to that 75-year lifespan or maybe push beyond it. The Highway Department understands the importance of this ongoing maintenance. In December, I was out at Rob Hill Road checking out the superstructure replacement that got done there. That looks great. And I understood we just opened some bids for 2 other projects, the multi-bridge HMA overlay and the Bridge 99, other projects that the county's investing in. So it's pretty clear that the Highway Department is focused on maintaining and improving the bridge and road infrastructure. So it's been a great pleasure working with Morgan County this past year and with Justin Schneck, who's been outstanding. He's helped us work on updating the load postings for the bridges, brainstorming repair solutions, and working on some of that important maintenance we talked about. So it's been a pleasure working with Justin and his team, and we look forward to working with Morgan County in the future. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Any questions for Kyle?
No questions, just a comment that it was a pleasure to work with you
Yeah, I appreciate
on
it.
this
Yes.
side.
Yep,
Great.
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
107.
Thank you, guys. Yes, next, just wanted to give a quick update on Bridge 107. So to kind of remind everyone where we were, we went after this, the funding in this project on November of 2023. NDOT awarded it to us last year. We became under contract with Burgess and Nyepel. I've actually have Ed Spar here from Burgess and Nyepel to introduce himself. As we get this project kicked off, we got notice to proceed in late November of 2024. So Ed sent his team out there to get started on survey. As you know, we had a big snowstorm hit here at the beginning of January that kind of put us on delay for a little bit. They were able to pivot and do some utility coordination in office. And at this time, we're happy to say there are no utilities by this bridge that should cause an issue with our project. So should look clean from a utility coordination standpoint, but now they're getting ready to pick back up on survey, but I just wanted to give Ed a minute to introduce himself to the commissioners so you guys can see who we have working for us as a consultant, so.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate a moment to introduce myself. I'm Ed Spar. As Justin mentioned, I'm with Burgess and Nyepel. I've been doing bridge design for 25 years, and as I was up here thinking about this, our office is in Indianapolis, but don't hold that against me because I actually grew up in Brown County. My brother's a principal here in the county as well, so I enjoy every opportunity I can to get back down here and enjoy southern Indiana. We really appreciate, I know that we may not be a familiar name to the commission, and so I understand that I appreciate you guys taking the opportunity and Justin taking the opportunity to trust us. We really look forward to working on your behalf on this bridge replacement. So if there are any questions or if you have any concerns, please let me know or let Justin know. I'm happy to work with you on these.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And just a reminder, Bridge 107, that's slated for a 2030 construction schedule due to going after NDOT funding through the federal aid process on that. So we're still a few years out, but working diligently to head that way.
2030.
2030, yep.
Bill, I won't be here.
Well, thank you all for that.
Okay, thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Moving right on along, Sewer District MOU, I'm assuming that's Mr. Josh? Mr. Collier?
Pick up the ball and run with that.
Well, that's a-
Proud new member of the Morgan County Regional Sewer District. We held our meeting to discuss this. Many of the members who have been on there for much longer than I expressed their concerns, and I think a lot of their concerns were addressed. We did a few changes to throw back to the Morgan County Redevelopment Commission and back to Bargersville. I believe all parties will be viewing this week or the start of next. And I think everybody's in agreement. And I think this will really help stabilize that area and move that area forward. So I would recommend to the commissioners that we accept the memorandum of understanding as presented before us.
Do we have a motion on that?
I'll move that we approve the memorandum of understanding
We got a
presented.
motion to approve the MOU by Mr. Adams. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board? Concerns? Anybody from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. You got a couple more letters in the pack on the whole Beard project. The Indiana Broadband Office is putting out, you got one of them from Comcast asking for a support letter, and you also have one from the local SCI REMC here in Martinsville as well. Josh, anything you want to say on this? We've already passed a couple, I know. I mean, it's just a support letter, so. No questions or concerns, I'd entertain a motion on one or both of these support letters for Comcast and REMC.
I read them, but do we acknowledge or do we?
Actually, make a motion on the other ones we've done.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
We got a motion and a second by Mr. Collier. Mr. Adams made the motion. Any further questions from the board? Anybody here from the audience? What this is helping them get broadband to everybody in the county the best they can. With REMC, it's going to be the Jordan Road area and the Perrigan area that's going to help the most. On Comcast, it's going to just help them in a lot of their service areas in the county as well. No further questions or comments. I didn't go ahead and ask for a motion or ask for a vote All those in favor of the letter of support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Appointment to the Harrison Township Fire District, and I was starting to talk to Ann about that this morning. I have talked to the gentleman. He's supposed to be getting us a resignation letter. I've talked to the president of the board, and they're anxious to get somebody else appointed because they've got some business they need to get taken care of. And with the one gentleman that's had a bad accident and been down and not showing up, no fault of his own with this accident and everything, in the hospital so much, but we'll bring that back next meeting if that's okay, and hopefully we'll have that resignation letter and be able to make that appointment.
Move to table this appointment till the next meeting.
We got a motion by Mr. Collier to table. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board or the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Request for use for Socoa for the big meeting room here. We do this for other people, and I just entertain a motion on that if you guys don't have any questions or anything on that.
I'll have no questions, and I'll move that we approve the request.
We got a motion to approve the request for this big meeting room. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board on it? Anybody from Socoa here representing them want to speak? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries 3-0. Justin, it's all yours, Justin. You want to come back up on the bids?
Well, unfortunately, this meeting went a little quicker than we had anticipated, so didn't go through the bid docs all the way, but that's okay. We can officially accept them next time. We did go through Bridge 99. It looks like it is all there, all good to go and everything, but if we're going to wait for the other two, I'll bring all three of them back to the next meeting, and then we'll award them at the next meeting.
We miss you. We're glad you can come back.
Well, I can't wait to come back, so, for sure. So, but I appreciate
thank
you
you
giving me
for
the
your
opportunity to
attempt.
try, and thanks for working with us, so, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. For the good of the county, let Mr. Adams do it first if he's got anything.
Oh, gosh, I've been holed up for a little while. I did get out the other night to a nice event for Major Rogers, I guess, out at REMC. It was so good to see so many people out getting involved, and look forward to an interesting couple of, we don't have an election coming up this year, do we? But, things are going to get pretty hot next year, so glad to get things rolling. For the good of the county, I cannot encourage you enough to go out to Waverly and take a walk or on that 2-mile hike. I think it's supposed to get up to 65 today, isn't it? Might throw the bike on the back of the car and go check out the river. It's beautiful out there today. So, prettiest county around I guess you say in the donut. We're the prettiest part of the donut.
I have a question on the sealed bids. Once they're opened, do we have to make are we allowed to let the bids walk out of here without some type of formal action by this board?
We do
I mean,
use
in the past, we've said upon review, we make the motion upon
So-
review that if the numbers as presented are good upon review, then it's awarded versus postponing for 2 weeks.
Agreed.
That's my only concern.
Understand what you're saying.
Thank
I don't know that there's a rule about it walking out the door or that anything would happen because we already have a record of the opening.
Okay.
But I agree that in the past, what we have normally done is awarded to the lowest unless there was something
Missing within the
completely.
fine print.
But they usually bring it back.
Yes, so I was trying to avoid that and get it done within this meeting, but you're correct. If we need to bring it back, then I would say we need a motion to accept all bids as presented based upon our review. I'll come back next meeting with the lowest responsible bidders for award, a recommendation to award. Does that make sense?
Well, I think you are asking to go more than just accepting the bids as presented. You want a recommendation that could be walked back depending on what they see? Is that what you were looking for?
I just want to protect the integrity of the board and the integrity of the sealed bid to
Understand,
where no one gets in trouble.
I
I
understand.
mean, I believe we're
I
okay,
think
but
we're doing that with the
Joe
motion.
Public might question something.
Well, I think it's fine. The numbers are what they are. They're not going to change, right? And if there's a reason to vary, it's going to be because when Justin and Eddie look through those bids, it would be noting that the scope of work wasn't correct or whatever. So I don't have a problem with not issuing an award or having a recommendation for an award. He said he would like a motion to accept the bids, and I don't think that's a bad idea.
And I don't have a problem with that. I'd entertain a motion to accept all bids as presented.
So move. Oh, second.
Motion by Mr. Collier, seconded by Mr. Adams. Any further questions from the board or the audience? I know we had some bidders here, so. Not here, none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Well, for the good of the county, following up on what Mr. Adams said about Old Town Waverly Park, the trail and the temperatures, it will be nice today to do that. The other thing, we got a program, it'll be the first of its kind for us. It's gonna take place, March, I don't have the exact dates, March 6th at Old Town Waverly Park at the church at 6 p.m. It's actually gonna be, a film version of actually the explosion of the old concrete bridge when they brought it down in Waverly. And it's going to be pretty neat to be able to see that. Local gentleman was able to film that all them years ago. And you're going to have a little bit of history about that old concrete bridge and the covered bridge before. Mr. Adams, I believe, is going to speak, and myself as well that evening. So we welcome you to that. I've got one other thing for the good of the county, if nobody else does. I just want to acknowledge EMA for being selected by Indiana Department of Homeland Security for their, for newly elected officers, state officials, for the best county in Morgan, or best county in state of Indiana out of the 92 counties. Morgan County was chosen to be the one by Indiana Department of Homeland Security on their readiness assessment and overall accomplishments for 2024. So Abby and her group, kudos to you. You guys will be representing Morgan County great, I know, and we thank you for all that you do. So anything else for the good of
I
the
was gonna
county?
mention EMA, and then I would encourage everybody to go up and get the history lesson, because I think Don was the one that pushed that stick down from Acme Dynamite, blew the bridge up. So he can tell you about
But I
that.
didn't get to do
He
that.
can tell you about when he did that.
I've got one other thing here. We've got some people that spoke the last couple of meetings here, and I know Chase is here again today. Do you got anything brand new, Chase? If it's been repeated, I will stop you real fast, so. You got a couple minutes at the most, and it's gotta be all new stuff.
Chase Harker concerning
This will be the last time we're gonna address this thing.
Bottom Road. So I've got some land for sale that the Transportation Department could use as an alternative as a total site or just for the salt barn project.
Is it the ones that you sent us all already? Yes. Because I already printed it off. Yeah, I know right where it's at.
Thank you.
Anything else? Appreciate you doing the work doing that, but it's
To address the property on Morgan Street, it's 2 minutes from I-69. It's got a road that that could support the equipment that would be needed for the project. What I wanted to do is I was actually wanting to propose a deal to, because I think the price actually dropped, it's just under, I think it's $59,000 for 2.79 acres. And also if you worked with the state of Indiana, they acquired by eminent domain some land nearby as well, so you could have potentially 4 acres. And the current transportation department, all of the actual structures on it encompass only around 2.5 acres, so you could move almost all of the facilities to that particular piece of land and then use the existing site as just like raw material storage. And so what I wanted to propose is if you would go through with purchasing that for the salt barn and any other facilities for the transportation department, I would actually buy back the corner for the price that you guys paid. And then we could also put in the agreement to let the county use the land still if they wanted to fix the road, straighten it, fix drainage. We would allow all of that even if we owned it, and we could put that in writing as well to make it easy for everyone. So just wanted to propose that, and I would suggest moving quicker rather than slow, because that is a really good price for 2.79 acres and prime location. So if you did want it, I would suggest moving forward. So, and that is all.
You're gonna find out the county government don't move fast, but we will look into it, I already have. I know that easement is showing there's a gap in the survey there, I do know that, so you don't really have complete access to Morgan Street.
Well,
There
and
is
but the
another-
other two pieces of land that are there is owned by the state, and the only reason they have it is for I-69.
Yeah.
So I think you could probably work something out with the state pretty easily.
If they don't, or haven't already got it in transfer agreement for the city yet, we don't know that, but
Okay,
we are gonna look, I'm gonna look into it. And I know there is another lot that's available for sale there as well, I assume.
Okay, yeah.
So I am gonna look into it and see, I appreciate you doing that. As far as, the other two commissioners, I can't speak for them, whether they even had a chance to open it up and look at it, but I did print them off already, and I did see that gap. I mentioned it to you already. So, I mean, it's a nice location. It's fairly flat. I mean, it's flatter than what I thought it'd be after looking at the contours, so, yeah. But, we'll take it under advisement, that's for sure.
All right, thank you.
Have one last little lady, Diana Jennings, about recycling center.
Diana Jennings, and I just first want to thank you guys for the snow removal, thanking the county. That was a big snow, and you guys did an excellent job. And I've been remiss not attending the meetings. I just trust our county government a lot, and I don't feel like I have to keep track of you all the time. But I want to update on the recycling center. I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and we were real happy that we had the one over at the fairgrounds for Christmas time for the boxes and everything. And so that spurred a lot of questions of, where we stand on that. So if I've missed it, I'm sorry. I hadn't seen anything really in the paper, so I would just like an update.
Either one of you want to tackle that, or Mr. Bessemer?
Yeah, so brief update on that is the county awarded a contract in December for the construction of the recycling center at some ground that we bought out by Centerton. We'll have an EMS location there as well as recycling. Our intent is for that to be open later this year.
Our intent is also to have it regulated to where we're not getting bags of trash, mattresses, used televisions, stuff of that nature that ends up contaminating all the recycling.
So they will be on camera. And it will be manned as well, so, during regular hours. Anything else needs to come before the board? Not seeing no hands going up, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all for coming out today. Appreciate it.